For today's work, you will need a coat or a jacket. I'm going to show you the flip trick, which is a really simple way to put on your coat or jacket. So the first thing that you need to do is lay your jacket flat on the ground and make sure that it's upside down. You also want to be standing up. So stand up and make sure that when you look down, the top of your jacket faces the top of your feet, just like this. Let's go on to step 2. Now that your coat is lying flat on the ground and it's upside down, you're ready for the second step. So you're going to take each arm and put it into each sleeve. Now remember, there should be 2 holes, 1 hole for each sleeve, and each arm is going to go into each hole. So you're going to take your arms, put it into one of the sleeves and the other. You don't want to put your arms all the way through the sleeves because you want to make sure that you can flip your jacket. So the next step, part 3, is to flip your jacket up and over your head like this. 1, 2, 3. Keep those arms in the sleeves and go up and over. Ta-da! Let's try that again. You're going to put each of your arms into the sleeves. Not all the way, just halfway. Now you're going to flip your jacket up and over your head. 1, 2, 3. Up and over. Ta-da! Are you ever working on something and maybe it's not going exactly how you have it planned? Maybe your body starts getting really worked up and you start feeling frustrated or upset or maybe even angry. Well, when that happens, just stop what you're doing and let's take a deep breath. So we're going to breathe the air in through our nose like this and out through your mouth. Let's try that again together. We're going to take a deep breath in and out. Now let's check in with our bodies. How do you feel now? Maybe a little more relaxed and calm? Remember, friends, it's always okay to feel those hard feelings, especially when you're learning something new. But just remember, the more upset you let yourself get, the harder it's going to be to complete that task. When that happens, just stop what you're doing, move on to another activity, and try again later. Let's get back to circle time. For today's work, you will need a piece of ribbon. Now this ribbon should be no more than 1 inch thick and slightly longer than your torso. The torso is the part of your body that starts right below your neck and chin and measures down to the top of your waist. So this part of your body is your torso. You will also need a plastic bread clip. This is what I mean by a plastic bread clip. This is the part that seals a bread bag shut and keeps the bread from going stale. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your bread clip and you're going to put it around the ribbon, just like this. So the bread clip is attached to the ribbon. On the other end, you're going to tuck it below your chin, just like this. So I recommend doing this work standing up, but I'm just going to kneel so that you can see what I'm doing. So remember, the bread clip is at the bottom and you're going to tuck the other end of the ribbon just below your chin and hold it like this. Now it's time to practice zipping. So with one hand, you're going to hold the bread clip, and with the other hand, you're going to hold the bottom of the ribbon. Hold that tight and pull up, 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 like that. Bravo, friends! You zipped up your jacket. Now let's practice unzipping. In order to do that, you're going to tuck the top of the ribbon under your neck again, hold the bottom part tight, take that bread clip and zip down. Here we go. Down, 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 down. There you go. You unzipped your jacket. Let's practice zipping our jacket up one more time, but this time we're going to sing the zipper song. Are you ready? Take the top of your ribbon, tuck it underneath your neck, hold it down tight with your chin. You're going to hold the bottom of your ribbon, and with the other hand, hold the bread clip, and now it's time to sing as we zip up. This is the way I zip up my coat, zip up my coat, zip up my coat. This is the way I zip up my coat before I go outside. Let's get back to circle time. So before you put on your sneakers, what do you need to put on your feet first? Socks! That's right. Now socks can be a little bit tricky to put on because you have to do it twice, and socks come in all different types. Let me show you what I mean. You have thicker socks to wear in the winter time. You have high socks. These come above your ankles. And you have low socks. Wow, that can be so confusing. And you have two socks, one for each of your feet. Two socks is called a pair of socks because pair means two. Now I have a really silly song to share with you before we move on to our work for the day. Are you ready to hear it? It goes like this. Black socks, they never get dirty. The longer you wear them, the blacker they get. Someday I think I should wash them, but something inside me keeps saying, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Thanks for singing with me, friends. Are you ready to see the work for the day? Let's go check it out. For today's work, you will need a bunch of rubber bands or some elastic hair ties like this. Now, putting on socks can be a little bit tricky because there's so much extra fabric that you have to pull over your toes, up your feet, and up around your ankle. So let's practice putting on a sock, but without all that extra fabric. Let's see. So I'm going to start with one elastic hair tie like this. I'm going to sit down on the ground, bring my foot up close to me like this, and start by stretching out the elastic a little bit. Now I'm going to put all of my toes inside of the elastic. Pull that elastic up, up, up over my ankle. There we go. One elastic is on. So let's see, friends. Sometimes when I'm putting on clothing, it can be a little bit tricky and frustrating. And sometimes my body can get really, really uncomfortable and worked up. So if that ever happens to you, I suggest stop what you're doing. Take a deep breath like this. In through your nose. Blow that air out like this. Stop and listen to your body. Do you feel a little more relaxed? If your body feels more relaxed, you can try again. Let's see. You take the elastic, stretch, stretch, stretch. Bring your foot up to you. Put all of your toes inside of the elastic. Now we're going to pull the elastic over your feet, up your ankle, just like so. And friends, if you start to get a little bit frustrated again, you can always take a break and a nice deep calming breath like this. And when your body feels ready, you can try it again. Friends, I also want to point out not to use elastics that feel too tight on your body. Let's get back to circle time. So for today's work, you're going to need a big pile of clothing from all different seasons. Now, if you live in a place where the seasons don't drastically change, instead you can use a big pile of clothing that represents different types of weather. So let's sort this pile of clothing based on the weather or the season. Let's start at the top. Do you see what I have here? It is a hat, you're right. And let's feel this hat. It feels very warm, and you can see how these sides come down to cover ears and keep them warm. So I'm guessing that this is a winter hat. I'm going to put it in a pile over here. Let's move on to something else. Let's see. Ooh, what do I have here? It is a shirt. And let's look at the length of the sleeves. Are they long or are they short? That's right. This is a short sleeve shirt or a t-shirt. Now this is something that I would wear in the summertime when the weather was hot. So I'm going to put this in a pile over here. So we have a wintertime pile and a summertime pile. Let's move on. Ooh, what about this? Let's see. I'm going to feel the outside. It's very smooth and slick. Definitely used to repel water. It is a type of jacket. Do you know what kind of coat this would be for? For the rain. This is called a raincoat. So let's see. It can rain in the summer and in the winter, but I'm going to sort this based on the weather. So this would be used for a rainy day. I'll start a new pile over here. Let's move on to something else. What do I have here? This is a type of a shoe. Do you know what type of shoe this is? Let's see. On the inside, it's very, very warm. And this shoe goes above the ankles. It must be used to protect feet from the snow. So I would wear this in the wintertime during a snowstorm. My wintertime pile is right over here. So friends, I still have some more articles of clothing here, and I'm going to sort them based on the weather and or the season. And you can do the same thing with your pile at home. Let's get back to circle time. For today's work, you're going to need 3 pieces of construction paper. Now make sure that each piece of construction paper is a different color. You are also going to need a pen, a pair of scissors, and a ruler. Let's get started with the preparation for the work. Now this preparation may require a little help from a grown-up. So the first thing that you need to do is start off with one piece of paper. I picked my green piece of paper to start with. You're going to take your ruler and you're going to mark a line. Make sure that the line is about 1 inch thick. It can be a little larger than 1 inch, but no less than 1 inch. And you're just going to take that ruler and go across the whole piece of paper like this. So again, a grown-up can do this preparation for you, or if you want, you can help your grown-up do this work. You can have your grown-up hold the ruler for you and then use your pen and you can mark the line like this. So as you can see, the paper has lines going across and they're about 1 inch thick. You are going to pick your second piece of paper and do the same exact thing. You're actually going to do the same exact thing to the third piece of paper. So you want to make sure that all 3 pieces of paper have lines that are 1 inch thick going across them, like so. I'll show you what that looks like. Now all 3 pieces of paper have 1 inch strips going across them. The next step is to take 2 pieces of paper
and you're going to cut out the strips of paper. So friends, if you feel comfortable using scissors, you can also do this part of the work yourself, or you can have a grown-up help you. So I'm going to take my green piece of paper and my red piece of paper. I'm going to just line them up on top of each other like this, just to save a little time. And I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to cut out the strips along the paper like so. And if you prefer cutting the paper individually, you can always do that too. So you can take the red paper and cut out these strips first, and then move on to the green paper and cut out those strips, or you can just line them up on top of each other and cut out the strips this way. There we go. So we have two pieces of paper. Both are cut into strips about 1 inch thick. And now we're going to use the last piece of paper, and we are going to do the same thing, but just make sure that you don't cut all the way, because you want to make sure that the paper stays connected. Let me show you. So I'm going to cut along the line, but when I get almost to the top, so about 1 inch left, I'm going to save that. I'm not going to cut that part off because I want this strip to stay attached. So do that same thing to the other lines. Cut, cut, cut. Save that strip. Last one. There you go. So I cut along the lines, but I waited and I saved this last little inch at the top so that these strips are all connected. So you have one piece of paper that looks like this, and then your other two pieces of paper are no longer pieces of paper, they're just strips. Let's move on to the work. So friends, if you didn't feel comfortable prepping the work, this is the part where it's your turn. You take the strips of paper and you're going to divide them and sort them based on their color. So you have red and you have green, but you may have different colors. Sort all the strips. Now it's time to weave. So pick one color to start with. I'm going to start with red. And I'm going to take my red strip and I'm going to lift up the purple layer like this. So this purple layer goes over. Now the red is going to go under. So lift up the other, and we're weaving. So the red strip goes over, under, over. Now it's time to go back under, under, and here it comes over. So let's look at that again. The red strip went under, over, under, over, under, and over the purple. Let's do the same thing, but this time we are going to weave the green piece of paper. So let's start with it under the purple. Now it goes over and under, over, and under, and over. I wonder what paper will come next. We did red, green, red. It's time to weave the red strip again. After red, what color do you think will come next? Green. You're right, friends. Let's get back to circle time.